It's been a lot, man. I want it not just for myself, but for everybody in that locker room.
I'm trying to calm down, Coach.
You don't have to calm down.
This is nice and all, but we're going for Larry for sure.
Everybody stays ready, everybody stays locked in, and that's all you can ask for.
Knowing Giannis, he'll probably be back at some point in the series. This really is it. This is the last 7 games.
We still have work to do.
Our NBA analyst, Tim Legler, joining us now. So what are the biggest keys for the Bucks in this series, regardless of whether we see Giannis on the floor out there or not?
I'm going to put a lot of this on Drew Holiday, Ashley. I think that Drew Holiday is critical on both ends. I love how aggressive he was at the close of the Atlanta series. And there were times I watched him in the regular season and I wanted to see more of this. This is Drew Holiday, the all-star guard from New Orleans. This is the guy that they needed. And I think sometimes he tends to defer to Chris Middleton and Giannis Antetokounmpo. He needs to go out there, put pressure on Chris Paul to guard him, to wear him down. And then on the other end, his defensive prowess is well known in this league. He's a big physical defensive guard. And if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, I am primarily utilizing him on Chris Paul in this series. I think Pat Connaughton could chase Devin Booker around. Chris Middleton can get some of that as well. But I'm using Drew Holiday to try to get into Chris Paul as much as I can and try to wear him out physically on both ends. And I think that's why, for me, Drew Holiday is a huge X factor in this series.
Certainly combined for 52 points in the last 2 games for the Bucks, so that'll certainly help. But give us a prediction for Game 1 and the NBA Finals as a whole, starting with who wins tonight and why, Legs.
Well, I like Phoenix to win the series, so I like him in Game 1. I mean, if I like him to win the series, I don't want to say they're going to drop the first game. I think they win the opener, and I think ultimately, I think this is a team that just looks like they've got something special this year. They check every box, everything you want. Star backcourt. They got a big man that's emerging as a star in this league. Great role players that play both ends of the floor, exceptionally well coached, and they really trust each other. I think the Phoenix Suns have captured something throughout the course of this season. They've gone from being a great story to a great team. And I think ultimately this is going to be a long series. Would not shock me to see the Phoenix Suns hosting a Game 7. And if that's the case, you got to love the home team in that situation.
All right. Hey, whether it's 4 or 7, you're saying Suns, so I'll take it. Suns trying to snap the longest active title drought in the NBA at 52 consecutive seasons. Tim Legler.
2.5 minutes or so, 2.5 hours rather or so until Game 1 of the NBA Finals. But for Chris Paul, it's been 16 seasons and 123 playoff starts to get to this moment. Something that he almost willed himself, as Kirk Goldsberry details.
In his 16th year in the NBA, Chris Paul is finally in the finals. The Suns' 36-year-old point guard is one of the best to ever play the position, and it all starts here, in the mid-range. Paul shot a blistering 51.6% from mid-range this year. That's the 3rd highest by any player over the last 25 seasons. The only players to post a higher number are Dirk Nowitzki and Kevin Durant. CP3's bread and butter spot has always been at the right elbow. This season, he led the league in both buckets and efficiency from his hot spot. Paul is arguably the best mid-range scorer in the league. But CP3 can also burn defenses from downtown, shooting a fiery 40.5% from beyond the arc this postseason. He proved his range in the clinching Game 6 against the Clippers, when he went 7 of 8 from downtown and sent his old team packing with a playoff career high 41 points.
Through his legs, pulls up for 3. Oh, stop it! CP3 looking at the sellout crowd here, ready to pop his collar and say, how do you like me now?
If we do what we're supposed to do, I'll get the last laugh.
As good a jump shooter as he is, Paul is also a world-class distributor. These dimes show us all 122 made shots he's assisted on in these playoffs. Paul's 8.7 assists per game this postseason is his highest clip since his last year in Los Angeles. If the Bucks want to win these finals, they better do what the Clippers could not. Slow down Chris Paul.
There's a whole generation of kids that are like, what are those things that just dropped behind him? Those are coins. Okay, they're called change. dimes, if you will. SportsCenter on the road, presented by Rocket Mortgage. As we are joined by Malika Andrews, who, yes, is an NBA reporter, but it feels like for the last week or so, she's just on Giannis watch. I know that he is a game-time decision, but we're about 2.5 hours from tip. So where are we at in the process, Malika, of figuring out his status for tonight?
Yeah, absolutely, Elle. So he was upgraded from doubtful to questionable this afternoon. And as Adrian Wojnarowski and I have been told, he's been getting around-the-clock treatment in order to try to be in a position where he may be able to play. Now, Giannis Antetokounmpo, yesterday, he was on the court. He did a separate workout from the afternoon practice that the team had. Mike Budenholzer said that he is progressing well, but declined to say exactly what progressing means, what he was able to do and what he was able to do without pain. Now, Chris Middleton has said that he has told Giannis, take your time. Don't rush yourself back and put yourself in a position where you could re-injure yourself. But obviously, it would be a welcome surprise if he was able to play with this team.
Welcome is one way to put it, right? Let's just assume, though, worst case scenario here, conjecture, Giannis can't go. Malika, how are the Bucks going to adjust?
Well, what they've been doing over the last couple of games that they have not had him win by committee, Elle, and that starts with Chris Middleton. As Drew Holiday has said, they rode Chris Middleton's shoulders all the way to these finals, and they may need to ride them a little bit more. Drew Holiday said that, look, Chris Middleton, he doesn't shy away from the moment. He is perfectly comfortable carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. But Drew Holiday, he's also had to step up in the absence of Giannis. He told me that he knows that Giannis is aggressive every single minute that he is on the court. And so in his absence, he's trying to make up for some of that offensive as well as defensive aggression that Giannis Antetokounmpo brings. So this is something that needs to be done by committee. We saw Bobby Portis, Brooke Lopez step up in absence of Giannis, and that's going to need to happen again if they want to steal a win here in the Valley.
It was truly impressive what they were able to do to close out the Eastern Conference Finals. A little bit different. You're talking about a loaded Suns team, but we'll certainly see, because again, we don't know yet if Giannis will definitely be out. Malika Andrews is going absolutely nowhere. She continues Giannis watch for us as we await 2.5 hours ahead of tip for game one.
All right, and while she does that, the undefeated's Mark Spears joining us now from Phoenix, talking about my team from the 480 or 602, depending what side of town you're from. Devin Booker, who is the Suns' leading scorer, is not only in his first finals, this is his first playoff appearance. And man, has he showed up and showed out. What does he attribute all of this postseason success to?
Well, I think much of it has to go to his father, Melvin Booker, a former University of Missouri star, who also played 32 games in the NBA. When Melvin was, he got Devin to move to Mississippi when he was a sophomore in high school, and Devin credits him for taking his game to the next level. They also used to enjoy this Lil Wayne song called Mr. Carter that came out in 2008, where Jay-Z challenged Lil Wayne to take the rap game to the next level. Melvin Booker challenged Devin to take it to the next level, and recently when Devin saw the song playing on the satellite radio, he took a picture of it and sent it to his dad as a thank you.
I love that. I don't know a whole lot of rap, Mark, but I do know that. Hey, Mr. Carter, right? I won't sing. Okay, this is a reunion for Bucks forward PJ Tucker. He spent 4+ seasons in Phoenix. What's he saying about facing his former team?
Well, I mean, he has a warm spot in his heart for Phoenix, even though he's trying to win this championship. You got to remember, he got cut as a rookie from the Toronto Raptors, went overseas for 4 seasons in Europe, and then he came back to Phoenix, and Phoenix brought him back to the NBA. He talked to his agent and actually his wife about perhaps going to Russia instead, decided to go to Phoenix in 2012, and ultimately just refurbished his NBA career, became a starter, and the rest is history. So this place is where he resurrected his career, and he's certainly very humbled every time he comes back here when he talks about how the Suns actually saved him, saved his NBA life.
Wow, incredible. Hey, not a lot of people like that 123-degree heat. Didn't bother me, but good to hear a good experience, and it sets him up to be at the stage he's at right now.
I'm a tropical person. I don't like this, though.
Find a pool, my friend. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. Enjoy the game.
All right.
All right, that is a look at Giannis Antetokounmpo right there, as we said. Many times he has been working around the clock to get that knee healthy. You see, he's got a wrap around his leg, and he has been upgraded to questionable for the finals opener against the Suns tonight. We, of course, will keep you updated with every single update we get on his status for Game 1 of the NBA Finals.